It makes me feel bittersweet. I made a lot of wonderful memories here in BME, and I'm also saying goodbye to my career as a bench scientist while I move on to a non-bench science role. So it is bittersweet to leave that chapter of my life, but I'm also excited for the next one. So for me, this degree means really making my family proud. Of course, I enjoyed my degree and I did this out of passion, but also a big part of my inspiration throughout my life was my grandfather, who did his PhD in post-war Japan, and he has been an incredible inspiration to me. He's a lifelong learner. To this day, he still reads all my papers, my poster abstracts, and it was a huge moment of pride for both of us, I think. Yeah.
The feeling right now is happiness, elation, and I think excitement as well. Just going through the whole process of PhD and kind of the unknown, how a project is. When you get to that finish line, you really feel happy and just excited to be done. And for the next steps, whatever they may be, you just really welcome it and happy to be here. I have to give a shout out to my girlfriend who is here, Kimberly, who just every day just kept me going. Thank you, Kim. We're here.
As I'm graduating, I have a mix of feelings. I feel pride, relief, and also a little bit of disbelief. It feels nice.
It feels like a big accomplishment, honestly. I'm the first person in my family to earn a degree in university, so I think, earning 2 degrees with one being a master's from U of T, it's something for me to be really proud of and my family to be really proud of. My parents have always been just really supportive. I think I changed my mind probably 20 times throughout university, like what I wanted to do and what I wanted to be. But yeah, my parents supported me in all of those quests and along the whole journey, so I'm really thankful for their support.
I think I felt extremely proud and very deeply grateful for having this opportunity to work with such distinguished scientists, to work on such a fascinating project. I was actually one of the final students to close up the vascular graft program for Dr. Paul Santerre, and this was a 30-year-long journey for him. So I felt really privileged to have had that opportunity. Even now, I'm still kind of accepting the fact that it's over. It takes a long time to process that. Yeah. I would say it definitely was a personal journey for myself. More broadly on the topic of education, I think it had to do more with my family, my grandmother in particular, who passed away a little bit before I started the degree. She really valued education as a whole, and I think she made that very clear to my parents as well. So raising me, we really saw the value in maybe sacrificing other aspects of life to further our education, to gain knowledge, and to give back to the world in a way. So I think I've always felt like this program and what I could do, having the PhD would mean a lot more and carry a lot more weight coming out of a prestigious institution like the University of Toronto.
I'm kind of feeling a little bit of sadness just because I've made so many memories throughout my degree, and I've made a lot of friends that I now consider family throughout the program. And so seeing them also move on is giving me a sense of I'm going to miss them so much. I immigrated here when I was about 8 years old, and my parents, of course, sacrificed their entire lives and their, community and where they grew up and set their roots down just to provide this opportunity for us. So personally, it means a lot to accomplish such a feat, but even having the opportunity to accomplish this level of education at such a prestigious institution is huge. And all I wanted to do was make my parents proud. So Mama and Papa, I hope you are proud of me.
I feel relieved. It's been a long journey. I did engineering science for my undergraduate, followed by a master's in immunology, and then back to biomedical engineering for my PhD. I'm happy, I'm proud of the accomplishments I've had at the University of Toronto, and I'm excited for what's next. This experience wouldn't have been possible without my parents. They sacrificed so much for myself and my siblings. Definitely would not have been possible without my wife. She has been the backbone of the family and taken the brunt of my late nights in the lab. And my siblings, they've always showed their support, and they were my biggest cheerleaders. And so definitely I had a great support system throughout this entire journey.
I feel a sense of relief that I've finally been able to finish my PhD, but there's also a sense of bittersweetness to it. I spent so many great years in Toronto in a great lab, surrounded by great people, and it's something that I'm really going to miss. But I know that this PhD program has equipped me with everything I need to succeed in my next steps. So I'm really feeling excited overall. Doing a PhD is not about being the smartest person, it's about being the most resilient. Can you take a beating? Can you fail over and over again without giving up? And that's really what it all is about. The credential is really nice, but I think what's really important to me is just knowing that I was able to get through it and finish what I set out. So that's what really it means to me personally.
It feels very rewarding. I am truly proud of the obstacles that I have overcome, and this just showcases that you can do anything that you put your heart and mind to it, and that's the mindset that I want to go moving forward. I want to give a huge shout out to my family for supporting me and guiding me throughout this entire journey. Their endless love, care, and support throughout this entire process truly means a lot, and I am eternally grateful. Apart from that, obviously the BME community, they have been so generous, welcoming, and it's been such a great experience at U of T, and I will cherish this moment going forward.
I'm feeling a mix of pride, relief, gratitude, and excitement. PhD is such a long journey, and it's really meaningful to look back and see how much I've grown through these challenges. I'm a first-generation immigrant, and as a female scientist who's been living apart from my family for so many years, I can see that my family is really proud of me, and it's such a joyful and meaningful experience to share with them, and for them to see how far I've come through, and for myself to see that.
Something I learned was that leaning into the unknown is a prerequisite for growth. And so being willing to be wrong, being willing to make mistakes, and being willing to get feedback from other people is one of the only ways that you're going to grow in life. And that was certainly there throughout my PhD. I was lucky to have a lot of amazing mentors and advice from my advisor, from my colleagues. And so I think that really poured into being able to produce a quality piece of work. And that's something that I'll definitely take away from me for the rest of my working career and life. A highlight of my PhD was actually when the -80 broke down in the middle of the night and a bunch of me and my lab mates had to go save the samples in it. I really felt that I was able to make strong bonds with my colleagues, and it's, the classic adversity builds relationships. We're able to kind of bond over that experience over time. So yeah, it's where a lot of my friendships in the lab started.
I started my PhD in COVID, so doing a lung-based regeneration PhD is probably the worst time in history to kind of embark on that kind of project. But my resilience was tested, and I just kept moving forward. And me and my family, we have this mantra of never giving up, and that truly has stayed with me throughout this time. I think one of my favorite things was running a stem cell conference at the beginning of my PhD. I chaired this conference for children, high school kids, and 200 students showed up, and that to me was, I love giving back to the community and scientific outreach. So just having so many excited students learning about stem cell science and biomedical engineering, that to me kind of fortified what I might do after my PhD, and some of the connections I established with these students and how excited they were to learn about science, that I just remember their faces, and it was amazing.
It has shown me that I can be persistent, stay with the problem long enough until I can solve it, and I will take that with me even beyond academic environments. What I learned is really thinking critically when things are uncertain, because in your research there is no clear answer. You always have to refine, revise, question your assumptions, change your assumptions and have that flexibility of mindset.
I think one of the biggest things I learned during this program is to go into every conversation with an open mind. You really just never know like what one conversation can lead to. For example, I had a conversation with a professional who presented in one of my classes, and she later became a mentor to me. And she had a huge impact on my career now and the choices I made following my master's. So I think the biggest thing I learned is just go into every conversation with an open mind. One of the biggest things was the friends that I met. And then thinking about a specific moment that I had with my friends. We had the opportunity to work together on a case study in one of our last courses, and that was a really special time. We got to choose the disease area that we wanted to work on, and we were all so passionate about it, and to like be able to work on a project that you're so passionate about and you can see the passion in your friends as well. That was really special, and we ended up winning the case study. So I mean, we couldn't really have asked for a better ending.
The one skill set that the PhD has provided, which I don't think I would have really got through any other experience, was the idea that I would explore a very complicated problem, something in engineering we used to call a wicked problem, something with no clear resolution, no potential ways forward, but then taking the problem, taking what we understand and trying to find a path forward and exploring different options in a way that's more feasible and valuable to society. I think that was something I really got from this degree, and I'm really hoping will carry forward into my career.
The most unique experience for me was being exposed to the entrepreneurial space. So as I mentioned before, I was part of a startup that spun out of U of T and BME called Boutique Solutions Incorporated. And that's something that I never thought I would be involved in throughout my undergraduate and graduate degree. And so just learning how the basic and the bench sciences go together in order to create like a translatable product and bring the impact into the real world has been really eye-opening for me. And it's been really inspiring to see other students kind of push their discoveries and make like an impact in the real world. So that has been a really exciting, unexpected opportunity for me that I gained a lot out of. I think one of my highlights was winning the Building a Biotech competition with Boutique Solutions. So at that point, we had no experience in terms of what it takes to build a biotech company, and doing that with a team of other BME students. I want to give a shout out to Hedda Ladd and Alice Feng, and going through that entire journey and learning all these different things when it comes to building a business was really cool. And then like having it end off with us winning the pitch competition was really exciting.
Doing my PhD in Dr. Garton's lab was a crash course in dreaming big, and then narrowing down on like what's the most achievable questions that should be answered first. And so I think maybe something I'll be taking away from this is not limiting the dreaming aspect of the work that you're doing, while making sure that you're kind of having one foot on the ground, going through the Medicine by Designs, building a biotech venture experience. We were exploring potentially spinning out a company, shout out to Myoxa, and we conceived of an idea and took it to a pitch, and we won $25,000 in research funding. I'll definitely cherish that for the rest of my life.
Well, this program really taught me how to sit with hard problems. I'm often someone who likes to jump into things, to start building, to get things moving straight away, and that has served me. But what really the program taught me is how to be more disciplined about it, how to slow down, how to really question assumptions, how to double check things, how to question the assumptions of others as well, and to really put together something that is really well thought out. I think that's something that this program really taught me, is just how to think deeply and critically about not just research, but how I approach everything in life now.
I really hold value to is not saying no when things get hard. Coming from a non-engineering background, it was a new territory that I was going into. So I'm very proud of how I've handled the situation and how I've crossed the finish line, and here I am about to graduate. In terms of the experience that I will forever cherish is co-chairing the TOVI event with my co-chair alongside my incredible team. It really showcased how much effort, time, and dedication goes into coordinating such a grand event. But looking back at it, it was such a fulfilling time in my life, and I will forever be grateful for that opportunity.
One of the biggest lessons I'm taking with me is resilience and adaptability. Research doesn't always go as planned, and this program taught me to keep working through setbacks, adapt, and keep moving toward a bigger goal. This mindset is something that I will definitely carry with me in every next step. What stands out the most is seeing my work to finally come together after so many years of effort, especially toward the end of the PhD as I was preparing for my defense. There were many milestones along the way, but being able to step back and looking at the bigger picture of what I was building was really rewarding. That was a time that I could really appreciate how far I had come.
Give the advice that you should practice gratitude throughout your entire journey. I think it's really telling at times where a PhD is really difficult, notoriously, and there are so many things that go wrong during a PhD. And it's really easy to tell yourself you don't want to be there sometimes, or it's really difficult. But at the end of the day, going to academia, being able to do a PhD is an immense privilege. And so reminding yourself of the reasons why you're there, the reasons why you want to grow in the space, and the reasons that you want to contribute is, I think, what is a good motivator throughout your time. So I was really lucky to get my dream job out of my PhD. I am joining GSK as a medical science liaison, and it is my dream job because it's a really wonderful space where you get to engage with clinicians and engage in dialogues about science. You get to really be a part of really understanding the pipeline of a drug and how it impacts a patient even after it's marketed. So I'm really excited to be able to engage in scientific dialogue with all of the healthcare professionals that I get to interact with and make change in that way.
The first 2 years really are the bread and butter and laying down the foundation for good science later on. So although it's a lot of trial and error, if you can really focus in those 2 years and understand the project, understand everyone else's work in the world and find your niche, because we are trying to establish something brand new to make an impact. If you can really figure that out in the first 2 years, I think the latter will be a lot easier. And obviously, I think a really good idea to publish your first paper doing a literature review, summarizing everything and get your first author publication. Next in store, since I worked in biotech before my PhD, I would really be excited to get back into the cell and gene therapy workforce. I was a process development scientist, so I really enjoyed working on CAR-T workflows, scaling up processes, growing up cells into the billions. It was really exciting work. So I'm kind of leveraging some of my old contacts. I'm seeing what's out there in North America and really just trying to hop back into industry and contribute and make some of these real science discoveries that we have at the benchtop just see that clinical impact. That's the main goal right now.
Be ready for a lot of challenges, and also look forward to meeting a lot of great people. I would like to put myself in a space that there's going to be research and also practical innovation. My research was related to brain and brain-computer interfaces, neurotechnologies. It's a field that I'm really passionate about. I'd like to grow in it, so I'd like to have a portfolio of impactful work that I can build in that field.
Yeah, I think the advice I would give to myself a year ago would be the same advice that I would give to myself in first year undergrad. It's okay, like everything takes time, just be patient, it will all work out. Yeah, I was always trying to figure it all out, and I think I still don't have it all figured out, and I don't really think anyone does. You're gonna spend your whole life trying to decide exactly what you wanna do. So just keep an open mind and keep pursuing opportunities that come. So I just started working at Johnson & Johnson. I'm supporting the local market access team, so the Canadian market access team. So I'm an analytics and submissions associate, so working on therapeutic submissions for federal and provincial reimbursement.
the advice I'd tell myself is that way, not focus on the end goal, but really live in the experience and learn to take what you can from every single day and what you're learning. Try not to feel discouraged when you see failure. Try to find a positive way to get something valuable from that and move forward with your goals still. Finding a solution for a problem that's really unknown and hasn't really been fully scoped. I want to bring that skill set into project management. So having worked with cell biology for a while now and engineering, I want to put those two together to work in the cell and gene therapy industry. So I would really like to work in project management for cell and gene therapy and bring that technology and grow that sector in Canada.
Looking back on my younger self, I would give the advice to just stay open to all the opportunities and really take advantage of what BME has to offer. For example, like the entrepreneurial space, and then also all the other endless opportunities that I unfortunately didn't get the chance to get involved in. Right now, I'm working as a postdoctoral fellow in the Simmons Lab, and I'm continuing with the academic industry collaboration as a research scientist with Boutique Solutions.
One of my previous supervisors once said that the greatest scientists he knew were the ones that spent more time reading than at the bench. And I think that was great advice. Today's my first day at Life Science Dynamics. I am going to be embarking on a journey of exploring the consulting world and decision support in the pharmaceutical industry. And so I'm super excited to bring the translational skills that I got from my time at the University of Toronto and going above and beyond, as is the case with all U of Ters.
The University of Toronto has some of the best people and the best resources in the world, but you need to just come in with a baseline curiosity that you want to explore. That's number one. Number two is find your people. It's really important that you build a network of people that are like-minded, that you can talk with, and you can spend a good number of years with and genuinely enjoy your time. I think those are the two most important things, and everything else will follow. Currently, I am a postdoctoral scholar at the University of California, San Francisco, and here I'm continuing my research in deep brain stimulation for Parkinson's disease. I'm exactly where I want to be at this point in my life, and the University of Toronto is a big reason why I was able to get to where I am now.
An advice that I would give to my younger self is to stay curious. When I say that, I mean staying curious about the types of courses that you're choosing, the types of activities or involvements that you plan on joining, as well as your peers and your professors, right? Understanding how everyone has come to the same destination but have taken different journeys is something that is so interesting and provides a lot of depth and knowledge. And taking those advices and their guidance to your own personal career journey can be beneficial as well, and you could pass that on to someone else and essentially providing a full circle moment. In terms of what's next for me is I'm continuing to work at a pharmaceutical company in their pharma tech operations, where we look at various projects from merger and acquisition frameworks, regulatory pipelines, as well as prepping myself to be a leader in that space. And this is something that is truly exciting for me, and I hope to do well and excel and see what's in store for me moving forward.
I would tell my first-year self to enjoy every moment of it, because these years will become some of the most memorable chapters of your life. There will be many challenges, of course, but there will also be so much growth, learning, and opportunities along the way. I'm actually already working as a scientist in industry in my current role. I work on engineered cytokines to help develop cancer immunotherapy. Because my PhD focused on immunoengineering, it is especially interesting and exciting to be already applying what I learned in a setting with more real translational impact.